And breaking news now at 9, a Fulton County judge dropping RICO charges against people who protested the building of Atlanta's public safety training facility. I'm Tracy Hutchins.
And I'm Blair Miller. Atlanta News First anchor Joe Gorcho has that motion tonight. He's over the breaking news desk. So Joe, I know you've been going through it. So what did this judge say?
Blair, Tracy, months ago, there was a sense that this move could happen. Tonight, through Atlanta News First sources, we've obtained a court order from the Superior Court of Fulton County granting the motion to dismiss racketeering charges against activists who protested against the Atlanta Public Safety Center. Now, the judge in his court order mentions the RICO statute does not contain, quote, any such provision that grants the Attorney General the ability to prosecute such cases without being required by the governor, end quote. That means Attorney General Chris Carr had to get Governor Brian Kemp's permission to do so, but did not in this case against the dozens of defendants. The 2023 indictment accused many activists of being part of a criminal organization, facing allegations for participating in violent activities such as destroying property and throwing Molotov cocktails at the Public Safety Center. Now, in a statement from the state's Attorney General's office tonight that we received, they offered this response, quote, "We strongly disagree with the decision and we will continue to vigorously pursue this domestic terrorism case to ensure that justice is served," end quote. And we are still working to confirm what the next steps look like in this case, including for the defendants who will still face charges in this Cop City case. Tracy, Blair, back to you.
Joe, thank you so much.